Hello, I'm reading It Takes Two, and I'm the one that wrote it. This is my name, Jeffrey S. Hager. It is science fiction. I'm trying to make things easier on myself, so if you could contribute to one of these two accounts, I would appreciate it. Every little bit helps. It's like a tip if you want to think about that in that way. I will include it in the description of the video. Thank you for your consideration. All right. It takes two. Dedication to the guys and dolls at New World Deli in Austin, Texas. Thank you. Got the acknowledgments in chapters 1 through 13. Acknowledgments to all my family and friends, to those that have encouraged me. Thank you. Chapter 1. Past midnight in the Hollywood Hills, with a sliver of a crescent moon on this extraordinarily clear night. Classic Red Lotus 340R with a single black racing stripe on the driver's side scooches around corners with the driver either great or the car has no brakes. At around 240 kph in the hills of Hollywood, this is something one sees often, if not daily. The only thing louder than the car's engine is its stereo, with the open cockpit. The heavy metal music is so loud it could cause a rock slide down the cliffside road. The Lotus takes corners at almost clockwork precision. Even while turning the corners and shifting gears at the same time, the driver still seems to find time to tap his fingers to the music as the engine purrs. With his destination in sight, the driver brakes for the turn into the driveway, skidding on the gravel driveway, centimeters from the iron fence. Two guards are on the other side with assault weapons. He puts the car in reverse to back up to the security panel, turning down the stereo. A security camera pans to look at him as he presses the intercom button. "Look at the camera," the voice says through the speaker. He barely understands the words because of the static. He looks at the camera with a smile while shooting the finger. The gate opens. He speeds through, almost hitting a guard, the tires shooting out gravel. The Lotus slides through the winding gravel drive to the house at the top of a small rise. An old estate, originally built in the 1920s. It has been renovated and remodeled many times with just as many owners. The original was so simple and elegant, but times change and technology is updated every few years, even for a house. The grounds are well manicured, with many sculptured shrubs and multicolored flower beds. A few small fountains, with one main large fountain. Large amounts of amenities, with some sacrifices for the cliffside location. No large outdoor pool, no tennis courts. In the past it had a half court, but that was removed by a previous owner. The lights on the main building do not do it justice. Eggshell white on what little framework is showing, and a red tile roof, almost a typical mansion in the area of California, if not for all the many unnecessary renovations over the years. A patchwork. He passed two more guards along the way, spies three more in the garden, and still more on the other area of the estate. The Lotus slides in beside a iconic Jaguar XJ13 replica, almost hitting a limousine on the way. The house was mostly glass facade with some actual windows, others just covering walls. All the glasses, of course, bulletproof. The reflections during sunrise and sunset are like an electric chair to the eyes. He listened to the end of the song before turning off the car, For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica. He climbs out of the car, grabbing his jacket behind the driver's seat, activates the car's alarm and slides the keys into his jacket pocket. He wears a black-purple tailored suit, almost black, velvet accents, burgundy shirt, and a black tie with a thin pinstripe, like purple geometric pattern. One of the guards at the front door gives him a light pat down. Then one of the guards opens the door for him. The interior of the house was restored to its original, with all the modern amenities, Art Deco with some Art Nouveau accents. He walks straight into the kitchen, putting his jacket over a bar stool. He sees a shadow out of the corner of his eye as he removes 2 glasses and a bottle of whiskey off the island in the kitchen. Without turning to the shadowy figure, he opens the bottle. Hey Jim, I see things have gotten heavy since the last time I was here. A couple of weeks and the place becomes Fort Knox. He says, pouring whiskey from the bottle into the 2 glasses. He sets the bottle back on the counter and takes the 2 glasses into the next room where the shadowy figure waits. A single faint kitchen light is the only illumination for both rooms. The other room being a dining room. Not the dining room, but too large to be called a breakfast nook. Large ceiling-to-floor windows. A small breakfast table with 4 chairs. Near the window, on the right-hand side, a sofa with a coffee table. Opposite side of the room, 2 comfy chairs with a single table and lamp between them. Knowing from the past meetings, the windows have roll-down blinds that were only used once all the times he has visited the room or the kitchen. Your jobs in Detroit and Chicago were very well done. You scared a lot of families, even this one. The ones you left alive did enough to subdue the families, but you went a little far on a few. I beefed up the security at the home, now down to business, Jim says as he is handed a glass of whiskey and sits down in a chair wearing a dark floral pattern robe over dark blue pajamas with matching slippers. Yes, always straight to business for you, Jim. Never hi. So, you're all right? How was the trip? Everything goes as planned? With you, it's next job, he says, standing in front of a window, looking over the cliff at the other houses down in the valley. Below, a marina to the far left, no buildings higher than 5 stories, so the view is amazing, with the ocean going on into the horizon on this most rare of crystal clear nights. I know you well enough. I know you too well, my friend. If things went wrong, you would have fixed it on the spot. You did get a bonus for the jobs after all, he says, tapping the wooden table to signal him to sit and listen. The job is closer to home. In every way, he puts his right hand to his heart. Someone in the family? He says, still looking out the window after he sits. Things have changed since you left. You scared a few pigeons that were taken care of. But this one is big. The bishop, he says, trying to see where he is looking at. The bishop? Sam the Bishop Baker? But he's your right hand. The childhood friend of yours. If you can't trust him, who can you trust? He says, looking straight at Jem in near amazement. Trust me, he says, voice slightly raised, looking down at the glass of whiskey in his hand. But Jimmy, why? The bishop? I mean, he says, looking at Jimmy's glass. What does he see that I don't? Just do it, damn it, Frank. Jimmy says, raising his voice, looking him straight in the eyes. Yes, Jim. When do you want it done? Frank says, then looks at his own glass. Tonight. Now. Please, I have to be alone for a while. I will see you after. The sooner the better. Get it over with. Jimmy says, looking out the window. Yes, Jimmy. After. Frank says, standing. The small, thin figure, in all black, crouches atop a tall palm tree, watches a large house through high-powered monoculars with night vision and a starlight filter. It gives everything a sickly green tint. The large house is more of a mansion than a fortress. The house is more a mansion, almost a fortress with all the security, a residential compound or estate. The estate is on the California coast, with this particular palm tree on the edge of a short cliff. When it all stops and the cliff begins, a few meters away, wood stairs lead down to the beach below. The estate has a pool, tennis court, 2 outbuildings, the usual for this uppity area. The main building, the manor, or mansion if you will, is the focus. The scope stops on a guard dressed in all black, walking around the pool with an assault rifle slung across the chest, hung over the back. A holstered handgun with a small flashlight searching the area. The guard walks around the pool to meet another guard on a paved walk path that goes to all the outbuildings. They exchange words for a second, then walk in opposite directions, one towards the palm tree, but stop short of usual route to walk to the wall for some relief. The monoculars is put in a pocket at the shoulder. Guard stands at the wall for a few seconds. Figure jumps down from the top of the palm tree with almost no sound. Looks to see the guard still standing in the same spot, unmoving, unaware. Figure sprints to the main building, passes the pool to stand in an inside corner of the building where lights cast a shadow to hide in. Listens. Nothing stirs. Nothing. Listens. Nothing. Starts working on a nearby security relay panel, and then a window somewhere unlocked itself. I gotta drink water. Hang on a second. Excuse me. Guard zips up at the wall and walks the rest of the usual route around the palm tree and back to the pool. stands at a bush at the pole's corner, closest to the main building, turns off the flashlight, puts it in a coat pocket, unclipping the rifle, leaning it against the low garden wall, fishes into the pocket, pulls out a pack of cigarettes and a lighter, lights a cigarette, inhales deeply. A shadowy figure from the bush quickly pulls the guard into the bush at the same time breaking the guard's neck. Slowly, smoke escapes the mouth of the dead guard. The dark figure takes a cigarette from the dead man's hand and puts it out in one of the ah. The dark figure takes a cigarette from the dead man's hand and puts it out in one of the guard's open eyes. Excuse me. Grabs rifle that was leaning against the wall. Figure takes rifle apart and lays parts around the dead man's body in the bushes. Takes a guard's knife and stabs it into place under the dead guard's chin. The blade can be seen in the open mouth. Then puts dirt into the guard's pockets. Figure leaves bush with only a flower in his hand, throwing it into the pool. Then takes a handgun from under the jacket, walks up to the patio door, using a key to get in. The thin small figure slides down a rope from a skylight in the huge dark study. Excuse me. Huge dark study, wearing goggles to see a complex array of lasers around the study. A special array of lasers over a computer console, stereo system, a coin collection, and another over a movie poster case. The movie came out last year. Yet another sequel or prequel to a so-called blockbuster. Nothing original about any of it. Figure walks towards the poster case, going over, under, and around the lasers. Coming to the poster case, standing on the right side. The figure studies the laser configuration while taking a mirror from a shoulder pocket and another from the other shoulder. Place a mirror carefully in the path of the laser, redirecting it into the detection sensor. Excuse me. Half the poster case is free of laser coverage. The figure gets to the closest chair to stand on to reach the figure gets the closest chair to stand on to reach the point where the mirror needs to be to redirect the laser. After the poster case is free of the lasers, the figure picks the case's lock. The case opens to reveal a computerized panel, the main access to the mansion's security system, with a bank of video screens showing every room and sensitive area, like this very poster case. The figure sprays a compound onto a numeric keypad. With the goggles, the compound shows on the keys that having been pressed. 5 keys pressed. The code actually appears to be the opening day listed on the movie poster. The figure quickly punches the keys and the entire laser system is turned off, along with the heat detection system used to detect a person's body heat. The figure takes off a hood that retains the body's heat, opening and unzipping the rest of the suit, letting out a long exhale of breath. She shakes off her head, She shakes, she shakes her head to loosen the moist, dark hair. It falls to just a few centimeters from her shoulder. The, the security system shows time of reactivation. She sets the time for 1 hour and 45 minutes, then walks away, leaving the case open. Walks straight to the 9-piece coin collection on the wall. Opens the glass case and turns the center coin clockwise. Closing the case as the entire case moves out from the wall with a safe behind. The safe stops half a meter out from the wall with a digital touchscreen for the combination. Takes a console from a stomach pocket and places it over the touchscreen. Presses a few buttons on the console. It shows on its screen a 18-digit combination of numbers running in different combinations. She knows it takes anywhere from 10 to 2 minutes for it to crack the code. The study is illuminated by the light. The study is illuminated by the little amount of light and starlight through the skylight and a few security lights in the garden by the large window and French doors. Typical study. A few bookshelves, a few glasses covered curio cabinets, two wide couches with a low coffee table between, flanked by two large comfortable chairs on either side, one large rug, Persian, wood floor, large wood desk and chair with a computer and monitor atop it. Taking off her backpack, she sits on the sits at the desk to wait, looking at the computer monitor. Boots up the computer while she waits. On her second try for the password, she gets access to the operating system, the title of the movie poster. Plays a few card games. After a few minutes, the codebreaker on the safe beeps. The code to the safe is broken. The dark, shadowy figure now in the mansion walks along a wall with a handgun close to the chest, looking into the dark corners. Stops at a door to listen, stops at the window to see a guard walk toward the pool area, stops to listen to sounds of the mansion while kneeling before the window, glancing out at the stars. Hears a few low voices coming from the main hall where the main staircase is. Stands slowly while slowly looking around. Walks toward the voices. Turns down the hallway to see light coming from the main hall. She uses a red penlight at her right ear to see into the open safe. She opens all the jewelry boxes and empties them into a few small velvet bags, laying all the boxes on the nearby table. Puts 3 packs of $100,000 bills in her backpack with the jewelry. Taking one last look into the safe to see 3 flash drives on the ceiling of the safe. No labels. She goes to the computer and plugs in one of the flash drives. A computer program called Black Spot automatically activates to read the encrypted files. File folders labeled Triton, Happy Days, Loki, etc. Odd stuff, a bunch of accounts and banks, addresses, names, government agencies, etc. She takes out her microcomputer and wirelessly connects to the computer, transferring a copy of the decryption program and files off all 3 flash drives. After putting the flash drive and jewelry case back into the safe and locking it down, she accesses a folder named Game Over on her microcomputer from the copied files. It's a list of persons, addresses, dates, and times of day, as well as names of cleaners. Mostly the name Frank the Job as the cleaner. She thinks, then whispers, "A hit list. Cool." The shadowy dark figure stands near the entrance to the main hall, just out of range of the soft light from the large chandelier high in the 4-story high ceiling with its thick stained glass skylights. His foot centimeters out of the shadow on the floor. He can almost make out the voices. Then he hears the voice of the bishop. He looks from the corner just in time to see a small group of guards enter the main hall from above to the second floor opposite side of the hall from him. He steps across the corner. He steps around the corner, trying to see into the shadows at the top of the stairs. He takes a few steps toward the staircase. He's in the middle of the main hall when he hears another voice at the top of the stairs from the shadows say, "Frank the Job Sims is the best. Better light up the place before he comes for you." Suddenly, the main hall is flooded with light. He brings his gun up to aim at figures to the left of the doorway beside the staircase, and brings another gun from under his jacket to aim at a large figure at the top of the staircase. "Hi, Jimmy," Frank says, pointing his 2 guns at 2 separate targets while slowly glancing around. "Hi, Frank. I see you suspected the hit to be a trap, to be a setup. See, Sam? I told you he would suspect, but he's always done what he is told and then some. I hate to see you go, Frank," Jimmy the Gun O'Leary says to the bishop as he comes from the hall to the left to stand next to Jimmy and 2 guards. Guards start filing in from the hallways on both the top and bottom floors, all with assault rifles aimed and ready. It is going to be a shame to ruin all the nice woodwork and the stone floor with all the flying bullets and blood splatter. Jimmy is in his typical black suit. Sam is short compared to Jimmy, although he is of average height. Older looking than Jimmy, maybe a few decades or 2. Dustin Hoffman meets John Voight. Light gray hair, with what little there is of it, wearing a loose-fitting suit, dark purple, almost black, in color, white dress shirt, no tie. "Frank, you're a good kid when it comes right down to it. But you're getting too powerful for your own good. Too close to Jimmy, and you're still something of an outsider. Just a paid gun, not family. If you were family, we wouldn't be doing this. You're starting to cost too much in money and bodies. Things you do to the targets isn't right. You lost respect for the families. Jimmy and I never wanted to do this, but to kill someone that was in the way, the only daughter of the main family son, and the next in line, you got so good at killing that you even killed when you didn't need to," Sam says, while standing almost behind Jimmy. "Can we just shoot him now, please?" Jimmy, what do you say? If you wanted to have a hit on me, why do this? Why not just do it? Frank says while lowering his gun from Sam to aim to the other side of the staircase at guards. Just fucking do it. Where are they talking? You pretentious prick. Bring it. Frank, you're like my own son, the son I never had. My real sons either don't have the stomach or the smarts for the job, but you could replace me at any moment, without my advice at any time. But like Sam said, you're not family. And you're getting too powerful, Jimmy says, with his hands on the railing, turning to look at Sam. If only you could be trusted. One of us. She ducks behind the desk with her computer when light suddenly flashes on from behind the doors to the study that lead into the main hall. She shuts down her computer and puts it in her pack, then puts on her hood. After a few seconds, she slowly walks from behind the desk at a slight crouch to the open poster case to see the display of the main hall where the light and the voices are coming from. She sees a man surrounded by at least 15 men with assault rifles, all aimed at him. He has 2 handguns. Is this a gangbang? And with me, my clothes on, but then of course I wasn't not invited. She closes the poster case and takes her mirrors. She walks to the door to listen more. For reasons she doesn't understand, she even cracks the door to watch. Who doesn't love a good gangbang that turns into a bloodbath? I could use a good bath when I get home. Good long relaxing bath. Fuck yes. Before this end, know that all your people will be found and taken care of, Frank. Your cleaning crew will be no more within the week. Sam says as he signals the guards to take final positions. Well, that's the plan. Many of the crew are just as dangerous as Frank. Some like it way too much. Being hunted will push many of them over the edge. They will make mistakes and even go berserk, out of control, easy to find and kill. I myself don't know all of these self-proclaimed prophets, but I prefer cleaning crew to that stupid-ass name. What makes you think you can kill me without me doing the both of you right now? I can guarantee that at least 8 people, counting you 2, will be dead before I even hit once. I bet my life on it. Do you? Frank says, bringing both guns to aim at Sam and the other at Jimmy. Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war. If only you knew. You don't know what war is. But you soon will be, my friend. Very soon. Frank, you're taking this too personal. It's only business, Sam says, stepping behind a guard. Should have taken these bloody, thirsty murderers in the same location, or in groups, kill all of them in one moment. You're going to kill me. If that's not personal, tell me what is. Plus, if it's only business, you would have just simply paid someone to kill me, Frank says, slowly walking back to put his back against a wall next to the door. Precision is what is going to happen. Calculated, planned to the nines. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. All of you will be found and made to suffer to your last breath, one by fucking one. And when wanted to tell you. I wanted to tell you myself. After all the things you have done for me, you saved my life 3 times. More importantly, you have saved the family many times. It's the least you deserve, Frank, Jimmy says, stepping away from the rail. If only you had been up to me, but it's not. Given a choice, I would have brought you into the fold. Easy enough. If only you did not have so many secrets. Secrets within secrets. So like me, doing what needs doing, making more and more fear and power with every step you took. I owe you this, face to face, with all due respect and honor I can give you at this moment. We could have been down to business, now or never. What are you going to do now, Sam? Frank says, stepping to the side so that he is in front of the doors that's ajar. Once more onto the breach, dear friends. Once more in the fray, and to the last good. Once more with feeling. Faster than anything they thought possible. The door opens, just enough for an arm to reach out and grab Frank and quickly pull him in. Frank was caught totally off guard as he was yanked through the doorway. A millisecond after being pulled into the room, a series of 3 gunshots were fired in rapid succession, with the flashes showing on the door as it slammed shut. Jimmy, I told you that he was... But this... Sam, I told you that this was way he could get a shot off. A hitman would have been less suspenseful. Thankfully, someone got behind him, Sam says, after exhaling his long-held breath. Fucking fuck. I really hate this kind of shit. Sam, you might want to make sure he's dead instead of one of yours. He has been in this situation many times before and lived. He always turned up after he was suspected to have died. How can we succeed where others have failed, where the best have failed? Bring me the body, let me see his face, and then it will be over, Sam says, walking down the stairs with 2 guards beside him. Knowing him, he already killed 5 people. Just don't stand around. Get in there. Get the body out here. Now, damn it, Sam yells as he almost runs down the stairs while pointing at the door to the study. These idiots better not get me killed. Fuck, I hope he is dead. Please be dead, please be dead. After a few seconds, they find that there is nobody in the study. Positively, nobody. The French door is bolted from the inside, leaving the skylight the only other possible way out. Get a drink of water. She pulls him hard through the door, then sprinting to the rope hanging through the skylight. Frank thinks half a second, fires a few shots into the bookcase at the door. She looks down at him halfway up the rope, not really stopping. Dude, better hurry up. Dude, better hurry before they rush in, guns blazing. Frank sprints into the nearby table and uses it as a springboard to the rope after holstering his guns. She is on the roof, looking around when Frank hears voices from the main hall. What the hell just happened, and why am I going to follow this person? Almost certainly a female. Well, moves like a female with almost the shape of one. Thin man. Either way, better to go with this mystery than go to devices or people. She's rolling up the rope as he checks the roof with his guns out. She closes the skylight and then runs for a corner of the rooftop as he is just behind her. As she runs, she slips on a pair of reinforced gloves after slinging the rope across her chest. She jumps off the roof at a run to grab a wire that goes from the corner of the roof to the other side of the outer wall of the property. When she jumps, he stops and sees what she's doing. He ducks off his belt, using it to slide down the wire after her. 40 plus meters from the roof to the wall. She slows so she lands on the top of the wall and climbs down. She's meticulous in her movements. He lets go after clearing the wall to land in with a roll, quickly standing with his guns out, looking around. He is reckless, I'm guessing for good reason. Natural born killer. She pushes a high-speed, highly modified, customized, dull black cafe racer electric motorcycle from behind some bushes, pushing it into the street. She puts on a helmet, getting on the bike. He puts one of his guns away and puts on a pair of sunglasses. She turns to look at him as he climbs onto the bike behind her, wrapping his free arm around her tightly. Hang in there, buddy. It's going to be a wild ride. She guns the motorcycle down the street, reaching 160 kph within a few seconds. He puts the other gun away just before she takes the first corner. He holds onto her with both arms. She takes the corner at 220 kph. They both lean into the turn. Mom always told me stay away from fast women. She's a speed demon, a woman after my own heart. So odd, not hearing the motor, yet going at such speed. It's like skydiving. But so odd to also feel like freediving. She takes each corner as if racing down this road daily. At 240 kph, she passes a Ferrari that was speeding down a short straightaway. Catch up, slowpoke. The objects along the road become a blur of green trees and gray rocks. She misses holes in the road by centimeters. Trust is earned from experience or born of fire. She better not disappoint me. I need someone that I can trust with my life. She pulled me from the abyss. When they get close to city, she slows to 160 kph. Then as they get to the city streets, she slows to 65 kph. As they slowed, he releases his tight grip on her, resting his free hand on a handgun. Then when they reach the city, he unholsters the gun, hiding it between them. You can keep hanging on to me like that, forever if you like. I like the way you hang on. Just because I am not going fast anymore doesn't mean you have to let go like that. Shit, Jimmy says, slamming his fist down against the desk. This was going to happen sooner or later. Why now? This is not a good time. Events will accelerate beyond our control. What now? Sam says, looking at Jimmy. Someone was on the computer and got to the lists. One of his crew was here and got information to destroy all the families. He fucked us. Fuck. Jimmy says, gesturing at the computer, then slamming his fist again. We are so fucked. I have to use my I have to use this to my advantage somehow. Accelerate my plans. I have someone in his crew. We will know where he is by morning and the information. He will be punished and made example of. Sam says, getting his phone from his inside pocket. Frank killed me with this fucking shit. He will do no better. He deserves worse than a street dog. Jimmy says, slamming himself into the chair at the desk. I need to make a plan within a plan. She drives into the industrial warehouse district, into the area where most of the buildings are abandoned, driving up into one of the buildings, up to a old control panel for something. She presses a series of buttons, switches, and knobs. A ramp and stairs lower from the upper floor. She drives up the ramp to park between another motorcycle and a couch. The ramp comes back up. Welcome to my place, buddy. Be sure to wipe your feet at the door. The warehouse basically has 2 floors. The ground level is like all other abandoned warehouses with broken windows, junk, gutted cars, trucks, motors, machinery, and 1 or 2 still working lights. The second floor from the outside looks the same. The second floor is a hideout for a great thief. It has 3 more vehicles and an apartment. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, living, dining, etc. The usual space a lady thief might have. Lots of dark colors. Not much lighting. Red lights turn off after the ramp comes back up with the regular lights coming on. Why don't I have a place like this? Stealing this from you. Who are you and why did you do that? Frank says after climbing off the bike and pulling both guns after she turns off the bike. Are we alone? I owe you. But what do you want in return? She gets off the bike and walks to the living area. My place. Go suck a radish. Don't walk away from me. I'll kill you, he says, taking a step toward her. Little girl, if you continue to ignore me, I am not in the mood. She takes off her helmet, then her hood. Just a second. Let me get you that radish. You're welcome, she says, shaking the moist black hair free so that it falls just below her shoulder. Men can be so ungrateful and easily distracted. What? Frank asks, looking around the place while keeping one gun aimed at her. Not in the mood. Do not test me. Men, she says, tossing her helmet and hood to a chair on her way into the kitchen. Typical. Was hoping for more. Who are you, and why did you do that? Frank asks, pointing both guns at her from his hip. Please just answer. I really just need some answers, even if it's just the simple ones. Put those guns away, she says, after taking her pack off, putting it into the kitchen table. Boys and their toys. She takes off the jacket to reveal a long-sleeve, thin, white sweatshirt. It's tight enough to show off her form, a thin upper body, but athletic, accenting her well-muscled legs, still wearing a very tight, form-fitting black pants. He looks around the space again. She is not at all a little girl, all woman. Frank, focus on the future of those little punks that want you and yours all dead. This is the safest place I know of. If if it doesn't even have an address. Plus, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead. I would have saved your life. I wouldn't have saved your life back there, she says from the kitchen at the fridge. So do you want something to drink? I am parched, she says, opening the fridge. Basics out of the way, and then we can sit together and plan the death of your enemies. Maybe, just maybe, if we are both lucky, a little more. He sits after holstering the guns in frustration. He starts counting with his fingers the people he is silently thinking of killing soon in retaliation. The people that probably help set him up. Sam first always wanted to kill him. I wonder what his screams will sound like. Save Jimmy for last. Jake will need to be. I have no alcohol. How about hot tea, iced tea, juice, flavored water, plain water? She says while bent over, looking into the fridge. Water. Water and more water. Need to get some coconut water, maybe. Good stuff. Water, he says, still counting names. Yeah. Hey, water will hit the spot. Waterboarding. Chinese water torture. Nice bottom. Maybe drown a few in boiling water. Too far. Maybe back it up a notch. Flavored water, or sparkling water, or plain water? She says, turned to look at him from the fridge with her head still in the fridge, still in it. Maybe I should have just let him get his own. Just plain water, he says, slowly trying to control his anger while looking at her bent down into the fridge, looking back at him. Aren't things complicated enough? I don't need this. That bottom, man. Okay, this one, or this one, or, she says, holding up the bottles showing the label of each from the fridge. Definitely get your own shit next time, asshat. Yes, that one, damn it. He says, losing count. I want to shoot her so badly, but it would be a shame to kill someone with such a great bottom. And she did save my life, so I do owe her one. She gets 2 bottles. She opens hers and drinks some. She looks her over. Latino, some Spanish heritage possibly. Over 1.5 meters tall, nearly 1.5 3/4. 23 or 26, nice body and sexy. She's going to either hurt me or break me, not sure which one I want more. Women, he says to himself, starts his count over. She is definitely all that. Extra sexy. She spies him looking. She does a sexy turn to show she knows she saw him looking, then casual walk down a few steps to him. She tosses the bottle to him. He catches it easily. He has potential, but most do. Something about this one. He was going to fight them, all of them. He's either insane or he's been in that shit before. So, why are you so upset? She asked with a silly smile. It's not like they even touched you. If they had, I am sure they would have regretted it. I'm sure they know better than touch my baby. I'm sure they know better than touch you, baby. Whatever. Sorry. He looks up into her green eyes and turns his head away from her gaze. Those eyes, wow. A person can get lost in those. So deep. Who is this? You can tell me, she says, doing a small twist for him as she sits at the chair next to him. I can help you get there and back again. He repositions in his chair in frustration, turning away from her. Got to focus, one desire at a time. You want to know something? She says, after taking a large drink from her bottle. What? He asks, glancing back at her as she stands doing another little twist. I am Ali Marie Ortega, and I know something you don't know, she says, getting on the motorcycle backwards to face him. She takes a long drink while stretching her neck as she drinks. She has a choker collar necklace, an Egyptian symbol in gold on the ring, emeralds around it like studs on a wolf collar. What? He asked, turning to face her. I know your name is Frank the Job Sims, and I know you were to be hit tonight. She brings her feet up to rest on the rear footpegs of the bike, closing the half-full bottle, laying it between her legs. Why do I want him? He is sexy and must be good at what he does. I want him dead. To want him dead that badly. Who, with all of those guns. How the hell do you know that? He gets on the edge of his seat, almost standing. Is she telepathic? You see my pack in the kitchen? Well, in my tiny little computer, I have a list of people hit and to be hit. Jimmy the Gun O'Leary is making a move to control the entire West Coast operations. The records show hit after hit of key members of the families. He has found and gained control of a few accounts. He has it all on computer, as if it was a military exercise, she says while walking back and forth, and puts the bottle in the tail of the bike. She stands on the pegs of the motorcycle, stretching while talking. Thieves are good to have around. So, you want me to pay you for saving me, or what? He says, watching her show off everything. Gymnastics, ballet, both, or maybe martial arts. You're a hitman. You have connections. I'm sure we could share the money if we sell the information to the one of the other bosses. Plus, you can keep me safe from all the bad men, she says, lifting herself with her hands on the seat between her legs. Stick around, you handsome devil. So it's all about money. Nothing personal. Just take everything personal. They take everything personal. You will need protection if you want to do that, he says, amazed at her gymnastic abilities. Why is she a thief? Why? Who am I to talk? Yeah, she says, after tossing herself off the motorcycle. Adventure time. My services are not cheap. I will have to ask for more than half, and it would depend on, of course, what we're able to get for it, he says, noticing her arm muscles are probably better than his own. Either way, I would regret having a martial artist match with her. Probably quicker, not stronger, lower center of gravity, probably better at ground fighting. Of course, the other information on the hit list. I know you want it to go with your personal list of maybe even save a few, she says, squatting before him, saying the last few words centimeters from his face. He thinks to himself, damn, I'm worse off than before. Alright, that's 24 pages. This is chapter 2. I'm going to leave it there, and you're able to purchase this on Amazon. This is the second book I have put on Amazon, and I hope you like that little part that I read. Thank you, and have a good night, or day, whatever.